Back in high school, we had a fantastic physics teacher called Mr. Matatu. This guy was a genius. And he would often walk into the class without saying a thing, write a problem on the blackboard, and challenge us to solve it. And as we struggled through it, a lot of the time getting things wrong, he would look at me and say, "Makova, think. And then he'd pop out of the class to have a quick smoke. How often do we set aside time to think, to reflect? Our most frequent excuse is that we are busy. But thinking, reflecting, questioning is hard work. That's the main reason. It's much more difficult to actually think through something than to send out a few quick email responses. Thinking is hard work. Now, I met a banker who's worked with Aliko Dangote since he was just a trader. Unknown to a lot of people, he said Dangote reads a lot. He's very reflective, very thoughtful. He's actually very intellectually restless. And if he wants, he can take you to any one of his plants and he'd be able to tell you how each and every single process works, be it cement or be it sugar. Strive Masiwa wakes up at 4 o'clock every morning to exercise, to meditate, and to think. And when he reads a newspaper or financial magazine or journal, he reads it with a pen in his hand so he can make notes and follow up. Yanni Mouton doesn't have direct access to email. His PA prints out his emails, he reads them, and physically writes out a response back. The PA then types this out and sends it back to the person who wrote it. That seems antiquated and inefficient, but actually there's a great logic. Emails need to be crisp and focused, and his response is crisp and focused. But most importantly, he's not drowned by details. It frees him with time to think without interruptions. I've got another friend called Jacob. He says when he arrives from work, he sits in his car in the garage just for 20 minutes to read the paper, to think, to reflect, to pull himself together before joining his wife and his kids. And one of the best habits I've developed is actually setting aside time on Saturdays to go to the office. And frequently, it's just time to think. So whether it's Aliko Dangote, Strive Masiwa, or Yanni Mouton, billionaires, these guys have actually used thinking as the ultimate differentiator. Being able to think through the facts, to process the data, to connect the dots, to come up with a coherent understanding that leads to a solid plan backed by decisive execution. That is a rare thing. Not many people are able to do it. They think they can do it, but they actually can't. And most people struggle to think through a single issue. Never mind holistic thinking as a way of life or as an approach to business. So it's very difficult, if not impossible, to teach critical thinking. All I'm going to do in this module is just share what's worked for me and some of the lessons I've received from much greater souls. Good luck in this thinking process.